Okay, our next problem is problem 6-6. Remarkable company had the following account balances on January 1, 2019. So we have note receivable from sale of an idle building, 7.5 million. Note receivable from an officer, 2 million. And more details here. The required, determine the amount of notes receivable, including accrued interest, that should be classified as current asset on December 31. And number 2, determine the amount of notes receivable that should be classified as non-current asset on December 31, 2019. Okay. So we have two kinds of note, no? The first one, note receivable from the sale of building, the 2.5 million. Whereas the 7.5 million note receivable, so 7.5 rather, is dated May 1, 2018. It bears interest at 9% and represents the balance of the consideration received from the sale of an idle building to solid company. Principal payments of 2.5 million plus interest are due annually beginning May 1, 2019. So, hindi siya January, di ba? So, we have mid-year date, such as May. Solid company made the first principal and interest payment on May 1, 2019. Okay. So, our goal is to determine the one that is classified as current asset on December 31, 2019. Okay. So, of course, to answer that, the current part of the note receivable from sale of idle land, we should consider it as current asset. So note receivable from sale of idle land. Installment siya, di ba? 2.5. If it is dated May 2018 and 2.5 payments niya, therefore, how many years do you have to pay for the 7.5 million? So 2019, 2020. So 3 years, no? 2021. So 2.5 in 2020, the one that is due May 2020 is current. Okay? Plus the accrued interest. Okay? So it is interest bearing, right? But the interest is due annually as well. So on May 2019, May 2020, and so on. Okay. So as of December 31, 2019, of course, nagbayad na si customer noong May 1, 2019. Therefore, ang accrued na lang natin is from May 1 to December 31, 2019. Kasi supposedly it's for 1 year interest na babayaran pa niya on May 1, 2020. So how are we going to account for that? So accrued interest. On notes receivable from May 1 to December. To December 2019. How many months was that? That's 8 months. So to compute, how much is the balance? So we base it on the balance of the notes receivable as of 2019. Remember, during the beginning, January, we have a balance of 7.5 million. The customer paid first installment 2.5 million. Okay? Therefore, its balance as of May 1 is 5 million, which we will get the interest or which will be the principal or the basis for our accrued interest for 2019. 5 million times the percentage, 9% ang interest, times the period. So how many months? From May to December, that's 8 months, right? So 8 over 12. And this will give you accrued interest of 300,000. That is considered as current kasi it is earned during 2019. Yan. So this is the first part, no? For the sale of idle land, total is 2.8 million. Now, let's check the other problem. The 2 million note receivable is dated December 31, 2016, bears interest at 8% and is due on December 31, 2021. The note is due from President of Remarkable Company. Interest is payable annually on December 31, and all interest payments were made through December 31, 2019. Okay. So for this case, meron ba tayong kailangang i-report as current receivables? Wala. Kasi yung accrual naman, binabayaran din on December 31. Yung sa note receivable from officer. Okay? And then we have a transaction, another one, on July 1, 2019. Remarkable Company sold a parcel of land to Boom Company for 4 million under an installment sale contract. Boom Company made 1.2 million cash down payment on July 1, 2019 and signed a 4-year 10% note for the 2.8 million balance. So interest bearing pa din. The equal annual payments of principal and interest on the note totaled 880,000 payable on July 1 of each year from 2020 to 2023. The fair value of the land at the date of sale was 4 million. The cost of land was 3 million. Okay, so definitely ito, meron tayong annual installment na current from the sale of land. Due kasi siya on first, the following year, no, July 1, 2020. Okay. So current siya. So the problem mentions, di ba? The annual installment is 880,000. Of course, we also need to recognize any accrued interest from July 1, 2019 to July 1, 2020. Di ba? Tatanggalin natin yung interest from that one. Para makuha lang natin yung pinaka mismong principal lang. Kasi sabi dun sa problem, the 880 includes interest on the note as well. So to get just the principal, ito gagawin natin. Tanggalin natin yung interest from July 1, 2020 to 2019 to July 1, 2020. How are we going to get that? So the notes receivable amount is 2.8 million times 10%. So from here, we can get the principal out of the 880 is actually 600,000. And then we add the accrued interest from July 1, 2019 to December 2019 kasi it's already earned. Although yung interest, babayaran pa niya come July 1, 2020. So it's considered current. 2.8 million from July 1 to December, that's 6/12 or 1/2 of the year, di ba? 140,000 is the accrued interest. And do we have other? Wala na. Yun lang, no? Tatlong notes siya, bali. We have at the beginning of the year, and then we have another one during July 1, 2019. Total current receivables. $3,540,000. And then on requirement number 2, determine the amount of notes receivable that should be classified as non-current asset on December 31, 2019. Yeah. So first, of course, the note receivable on sale of idle building, the non-current portion, we are going to classify it as non-current receivables. Kasi due siya on May 2021. 2.5 million. What else? Note receivable from an officer we identified earlier, diba? That it is long-term note. It is due on 2021 as well. What else? The non-current portion of the notes receivable from sale of land. So we will consider the principal. The principal, sabi sa problem, face amount of the note 2.8. Of course, nagbayad na ng first installment on, meron tayong current portion, diba? Ito. Yung 600,000 na na-compute natin kanina. $600,000. So therefore, $2.2 million ang principal for the non-current portion of the note receivable from sale of land. That's it. Get the total non-current receivables. Notes receivable. Kasi lahat naman sila notes receivable. As of December 31, 2019. $6,700,000. And we're done with problem 6-6. Okay, next problem. Nova Company reported the following receivables on December 31, 2019. Okay, so meron tayong account receivable, Interest receivable and notes receivable. Combination siya. Question number 1, so multiple choice naman siya. What amount should be reported as interest income? So first of all, I think may correction dito. The year should be 2020. Kasi ito na nga yung reported niyo 2019. So the question should be, what amount should be reported as interest income for 2020? So notes receivable lang to related, definitely. So wala namang interest ang accounts receivable. So the notes receivable comprise our balance is 4 million. So the 1 million note dated October 31, 2019 with principal and interest payable on October 31, 2020. 3 million note dated March 31, 2019 with principal and interest 8% payable on March 31, 2020. Okay. So we just need to get the interest income. Interest-bearing note naman sila parehas. So on the 1 million note, due on October 31, 2019, 2020. To arrive at the interest, hindi kasi given rate niya. So we have, it's missing, no, from the problem. Pero we have here the interest receivable balance 190. This is the accrual for 2019. So let's assume, definitely, itong 190, it is the total accrued interest for both the 1 million note and 3 million note. Sa 3 million note, given naman yung 8% interest. So, from March 31, 2019 to December 31, 2019, we can arrive at the accrued interest applicable for the 3 million note. Diba? So 3 million times 8% times how many months from March 31 to December 31? 9 months. 9 over 12. Is 180,000. So therefore, the accrued interest applicable for the 1 million note is 10,000. Which is, if we will analyze, no, sabi sa problem, it was dated October 31. So, yung accrual niya from October 31 to December 31, that's 2 months equivalent. November 1 to December 31, 2019. 2 months. Therefore, to get the annualized interest, divided by 2 times 12. 60,000 pala yung annual interest niya. Now, with this amount, pwede na rin natin makuha actually yung actual percentage or interest, the rate, no? For the 1 million note. How are we going to get that? Of course, 60,000 out of 1 million. $60,000 divided by 1 million. 6% pala yung rate niya. Ayan. Then we can compute now for the interest income. Again, there is correction in the problem. 2020 dapat yan. Due on October 31, 2020. So we already recorded accrual from 2019. For 2020, from January 1, 2020 to October 31, 2020. Right? Kasi makakollect na naman na yung note on October 31, 2020. So 1 million times, we got the rate, 6% times, from January 1 to October, that's 10 months, 10 over 12. $50,000. And then on the 3 million note, March 31 naman siya. So to get the interest income from January 1, 2020 to March 31, 2020, 3 million times the rate, given naman 8%, times ilang months, 3 over 12. $68,000. Total interest income for 2020. Answer is letter A. 110,000. Yeah. Okay. For number 2, requirement. So this is related to accounts receivable. So as a review on the accounts receivable topic, we have here the balance on 2019 accounts receivable. Ang question kasi here is what amount should be reported as doubtful accounts expense for 2020 dito. This is a correction. For 2020. Yeah. So in 2019, we have 3,840,000 net of the 520,000 allowance for doubtful accounts. Net na siya. Therefore, to get the actual accounts receivable na gross, 3,840,000 plus 520, you will get the gross of accounts receivable, right? Yeah. $4,360,000. And then the problem mentions, during 2020, the sales revenue totaled 21,200,000. Cash was collected from customers and 410,000 in accounts receivable were written off. All sales were made on a credit basis. Okay. So that means we have additional credit sales. So this is the beginning balance now, accounts receivable gross. So as of 2020, January. You add the credit sales, 21,200,000. there had been collections, of course, it decreases our accounts receivable 19,800,000. 410 in accounts were written off. Write-offs, it decreased as well it also decreases our accounts receivable. So the accounts receivable on December 31, 2020. $5,350,000. And then, ang question naman, doubtful accounts. Doubtful accounts expense was recorded at year-end by adjusting the allowance account to an amount equal to 10% of year-end accounts receivable. So the method being used is for the allowance for estimating the doubtful accounts is percent of accounts receivable. Diba? Method. So if that's the case, then we can determine the allowance for ang question kasi is doubtful accounts for 2020. So we can get it from the allowance for doubtful accounts. How? The balance on December 31, 2019, this is also the beginning balance, or January 1, 2020. $520,000. Siyempre, it will be increased by the doubtful accounts. So ito yung hinahanap natin. Right? Balancing figure siya. There had been write-offs. It decreases as well our allowance for doubtful accounts balance. $410. Right? Given. And the allowance for doubtful accounts on December 31, 2020. So this one, we could compute. Diba? Kasi the rate was given, 10% of the year-end accounts receivable. We have arrived at 10% of the year-end accounts receivable already. Diba? Yung kinumpute natin kanina. This one. $535. So, to get the doubtful accounts for 2020, you just have to work back. Balancing figure siya. $425,000. Mag-work back tayo. So, this is the answer on requirement number 2. What amount should be reported as doubtful accounts? Letter B, $425,000. Okay? Letter B. And we're done with problem 7. Next is problem 6-8. On January 1, 2019, Savage Company sold goods to another entity. The buyer signed a non-interest-bearing note requiring payment of $600,000 annually for 7 years. The first payment was made on January 1, 2019. So take note, no, uh, the note was made January 1, 2019, and the first payment was made as well on January 1, 2019. So in advance siya, right? In advance siya. The prevailing rate of interest for this type of note at date of issuance was 10%. Non-interest bearing kasi siya. So we use the effective rate or the prevailing rate. Given naman, we have here the present value table. One is present value of 1, one is present value of ordinary annuity. Okay. Question, what amount should be reported as sales revenue? Okay. How do we measure sales revenue, which is also the present value of the note? Tama ba? Because that's how we initially recognize a note, non-interest bearing note at present value. So we have the first payment. On January 1, 2019. So we need to get the present value. What is the present value of the first payment? 600,000. Di 600,000 pa rin kasi wala namang time it's the same date. So wala pang na-earn na interest. There's no way you could discount it kasi same day. So 600,000 is the face value. 600,000 is also the present value. And then we get the installment payments pa. 7 years. So 6 years pa siya maghulog ng installment. For 6 years. So this time, ang next payment na niya after January 1, 2019 will be 2020. So with the time passing by, meron na tayong ma-recognize siya na interest. Time value of money. Therefore, to get the present value, we need to discount the installment payments for 6 years. Pinakamadaling paraan dito is to use the table. Which one of these values are we going to use? Of course, itong present value of ordinary annuity kasi installment payment siya. But which period? 7 years siya maghuhulog, pero the first initial payment naman is already paid at the beginning. Therefore, how many periods are left? 6 years. That's why we use 4.36. $2,616,000. Okay, and that's the present value. Total present value, we can arrive at the sales revenue. $3,216,000. Letter A is the answer. We have another way to compute this para maintindihan nyo itong 4.36. Why is it this way? We are going to plot down that all the payments that they will make. January 1, 2019. Next is 2020. 7 payments of 600. Yan. Kasi itong 600,000, it's the future value. Tama? Yan. The goal of discounting is to bring the amount into the present value. Kasi on 2019, this is our present value. So, like what I've mentioned, the first payment, 600,000. The future value is the face value is 600,000. The present value is still 600,000. For 2020, iba na siya. 1 period, 2 periods, 3 periods, 4, 5, and 6 periods. Yeah. The interest rate is 10%. So if we discounted 600,000 at 10%, the present value, ayan. So, we can arrive at the PV factor. Compute natin, di ba? PV factor of 1. PV of 1 for 10%. Shortcut to. For 1 period, what they do, 1 divided by 10%. 1.1. Or 1.10%. So, based to sa formula ng present value of 1 for 1 period. Pag 2 periods, 1 divided by 1.10 divided by 1.10. Dalawang beses lang. For 3 periods, yan. For 4 periods, 4 times. And so on and so forth. So, due to rounding of figures, usually, yan, lalabas dyan, 4.36. Diyan nakuha yung amount na 4.36 pag i-round off siya. Okay? So, kaya, pwedeng gawin kasi dyan, yan, you bringing this one to the present value, 600,000 multiplied by 0.909. Or, so pag kinuha niyo yung total niyan, yan. Due to round of difference na nagkaiba siya. Pero supposedly, that's how you arrive at the answer. Pwedeng ganito, isa-isahin mo siya per installment, or pwedeng based on the PV of ordinary annuity of 1. The total of all of the following. Yun lang yun. Diba? So, nagkaroon lang tayo ng difference because of rounding off. Ito kasi exact sa Excel ko ginawa. Pero that's what you mean when you say discounting. Or bringing the face amount value to its present value. Yeah. Okay? And we're done with problem 8. Next problem. Problem 6-9, final problem. On December 31, 2019, Humility Company sold a machine to another entity in exchange for a non-interest-bearing note requiring 10 annual payments of 500,000. The buyer made first payment on December 31, 2019. So similar to the previous problem, right? The first payment is also the date of the note, December 31, 2019. The market interest rate for similar note of this date at date of issuance was 8%. So we are given again present value tables. Question on December 31, what is the carrying amount of the note receivable? Okay. So we need to get the present value of the note receivable on December 31, 2019. Okay. So 10 payments to, pero yung first payment was already made in advance. Therefore, you'll only need to get the balance. Face value for remaining 9 installments. So 500,000 times 9. $4,500,000. And then the present value for this one, 9 installments. So 4.5 million times, we're going to use 9 period, no? Installment siya do, or so ordinary annuity of 1 at 8%, 6.25. Equals, sorry, 500,000 pala dapat. Ay ba? 3 million. $125,000. And the difference, that is the unearned interest. 1,375,000. Yeah. So we got the unearned interest already. But ang question is, what is the carrying amount of the note receivable on December 31, 2019? The answer is letter C. Diba? 3,125,000. This one. Problem 9.